quartet na kami.
Oo.
Hindi na trio.
Tama, iba-ibang nota dapat yan. Practice kayo.
At saka meron na kaming, kung may pre-trial,
Oo.
meron kaming pre-concert
Ayun.
drinks.
Oh. Hindi pala practice. Ang past president ng Philippine Bar Association, chairman ng Movement Against Disinformation, at premier resource person natin pagdating nga po sa usaping impeachment. Ang ating si Attorney Rico Domingo joining us this morning. Attorney Rico, good morning!
Good morning, Rica. Rica this time, I'll remember your name all the time, no? Although si Justice Ascuna in his interview, ang tawag kay Peter is Rico.
Hilo-hilo na nga po, maraming mga pangalan.
Nagkagulo-gulo na.
Humaba na po yung mga pangalan namin. Minsan siya din si Orly, si Eddie.
si Liza nga po, si Rica.
Kaiba-iba. Ganon talaga, Attorney Rico. Good morning po, thank you.
Good morning. Good morning sa lahat sa inyo.
Good morning, Attorney Rico. So, we have a Monday na hindi mo maintindihan kung anong mangyayari because there are too many things happening at the same time. And so in this impeachment trial, at least if we can focus on this, palagay po ba ninyo matatapos yung caucus and the question and answer, and then the voting can happen before the day is over on the question of the subpoenaed or will be subpoenaed tax records and bank records?
Well, hopefully matapos yan na Peter and Rica, no? Medyo napaka-straightforward po naman yan, no? The only thing that they needed to analyze would be yung whether relevant at material yung sinasapi ng mga records, no? Financial records. So madali po namang husgahan yun eh. In fact, may precedence po naman yan. During the Corona impeachment trial, pinahintulutan naman ang impeachment court at that time na magkakuha ng ganung mga bank records tsaka mga financial statements ni dating Chief Justice Corona, God rest his soul. So ang point lang dito, kung talagang tutuusin at pag-aaralan, hindi naman kailangang pag-aaralan, ng napakalalim yan. That's pretty straightforward, no? Dapat allow nila po ang subpoena na ma-serve.
Mm-hmm. In the U.S. impeachment cases po, Attorney Rico, I was reading up on it, or at least konti lang. Richard Nixon and then Bill Clinton impeachment trial, sinubpina ang mga tax records din. I think they got them, no? Hindi ko sinasabi na because it happened in the US, it should happen here. Pero may relasyon ng ating constitution sa kanila, di po ba? So would that mean it could, like you said, no? It's almost a sure thing na makukuha yung mga tax records and bank records.
Opo, may precedence po naman yan. But of course, bibigyan din natin ng persuasive effect yung ginawa ng Amerika in the conduct of those impeachments of Nixon, the president, the former president, and former President Clinton. So, meron namang precedence sa ibang bansa, jurisdiction. Ngayon, tinatanong natin, bakit tayo masyadong persuasive sa American precedents, no? Itong impeachment process, galing po yan sa Amerika.
Ayun.
At ang impeachment process naman ng Amerika ay a departure from the British. Kasi sa British, walang impeachment. Walang impeachment yan.
Okay.
Kaya diyan ang kanila nakita ng mga Americans yan 1700s when they were trying to frame their own constitution in 1970 or something. Nakita nila walang impeachment, but we want to remove a sitting president or other high-ranking officials through another process, and they devised that impeachment.
Interesting. So kasi ang nangyayari doon sa UK, parliamentary sila, kaya by mere votes, mapapatalsik nila yung Prime Minister.
Exactly, Peter. Kaya nga, ang sabi ng American framers, taka muna, ang king or queen ng UK, ng British queen or king, hindi natin, wala tayong proseso para alisin. And the only time that they could be ousted from their positions would be through assassination.
Aray ko.
Diba? Ginigilotin po yun eh. Yun. So gumawa sila ng sariling proseso sa American. But now the dilemma is that, okay, we want to impeach the sitting president, supposing that sitting president is a very good president. So gusto ba nating magkaroon pa ng problema na sa kanyang governance ng American government? So sa kanila, sinabi nila, okay, let's devise a process to impeach the sitting president or other impeachable high-ranking officials. Yan ang pinag-uusapan natin ngayon na ang ating modelo sa impeachment process ay American. American presidents, no? Ang tawag yan naman sa French parliamentary, yan tinatawag na public justice. Ang tawag dyan. But again, we go back to the American presidents, ito po yun. Ang pagkakaiba sa Amerika, yung Constitution, Article 1 yata yun, yung ang napag-usapan na natin ito, Peter and Rica, no? Ang boboto for impeachment, guilty or not guilty, would be those who are present during that deliberation. Wala po yan sa atin. Kito sa atin is 2/3 of all members. Walang sinasabi kung sino nagpa-participate doon.
Yeah.
So puntahan na po natin yung maaring mangyari mamaya, Attorney Rico, no? Yung usapin po ng financial records ng Vice Presidente. Why do we need to go so far back ng years prior pa sa pagiging Vice Presidente ng ni Binibining Sara Duterte?
Tinatahi nila ang previous filings ni VP during the time that she was the vice mayor, if I'm not mistaken, 2007. Tinatahi nila ang kanyang record ng financial disclosures at tinatahi nila sa present situation in 2024, 25, 26. Kasi ang pinag-uusapan po natin dito, and that was properly alleged in the brief ng prosecution, would be unexplained wealth po. So pinapakita nila ang history ng filings ng Vice Presidente, because we're talking about a very big amount of money. At the end of the day, right now, we're talking about 3 billion ang nakikitang na sa lahat ng mga bank records at saka mga financial statements. Nakita nila na nag-amass ng 3 billion allegedly si VP Sara. Kaya ngayon, ang question dyan, di ba meron tayong mga other batas like the Anti-Corrupt Practices Act, the Plunder Act, the Financial Disclosure Act. Lahat yan merong nakalakip na presumption that if you have amassed wealth that is not proportionate to your income, then there's a presumption that those are ill-gotten wealth, unexplained wealth. Ngayon, tanungin po natin, medyo nag-research tayo dito, Peter and Rica. Magkano ba ang monthly salary ng Vice Presidente ngayon? 356,237 at step 1 of the salary grade. Ang salary grade ni VP President would be, Vice President would be salary grade I think 32, SG 32. So ang kanya ngayong present salary that she's receiving monthly would be, annually would be 356,237 pesos. And the maximum, kasi that is according to Executive Order number 64, series of 2024, as of January 1, 2026, merong tranches po yan, 4 na tranches yan. At merong steps po yan. Ang pinakamalaking sasahurin ng VP, the office of the VP, would be 408,055 pesos. Ayun,
that is monthly, Attorney Rico?
Annually.
Annually yan.
Opo.
Barya.
I'm sorry, I stand corrected. Monthly.
Monthly.
Okay,
400,000 monthly.
408,055.
Opo. Ngayon po yun.
Sa maximum po yun. Ngayon, currently, she's earning 356,237 at the step 1 of the salary grade.
Opo.
Monthly po, monthly Very
Yeah.
careful tayo. Monthly po
Okay,
yan.
okay.
Opo. Ngayon po ang gusto ko malaman, attorney, kasi ang hihingin ay ang yung financial documents niya. Yung SALN is public record. Yung AMLAC ay meron po silang records from banks na isinumite sa kanila. Pwede na nailabas na po yun dun sa investigation ng lower house. Yun pong ITR ang pinag-uusapan kung ilalabas ba or not because of the privacy issues. Di po ba? Without the ITR, sabihin po natin na ilalaban talaga ang privacy issue, hindi ito ilalabas. Yung SALN alone and the records from AMLA, is that financial records enough para silipin na merong ill-gotten wealth? O kakailanganin pa po ba talagang makita? Very important po ba talaga makita yung ITR na Vice Presidente at ng kanyang asawa?
You're asking my personal opinion, Rika?
Hindi po ba ito magiging din? Siguro po, personal. Kasi gusto ko lang din po malaman if those three financial documents are really important or if one is lacking, are the two okay as well?
Kung babasahin natin ang pre-trial brief ng prosecution, nakalahat po naman kung bakit nila kailangan yun eh. Di po ba? So ang nakatayang question ngayon sa caucus ng Senate is that are these records, including the tax records, are these records relevant to the resolution of that alleged ill-gotten wealth, unexplained wealth? Kung relevant ang kanilang conclusion, ang kanilang decision, dapat ibigay ang i-issue ng subpoena duces tecum, no? Alam niyo na kung alam na natin yung duces tecum, no? Peter.
Opo.
Subpoena duces tecum, mga
At saka
dokumento.
testificandum.
Testificandum. Okay. so, lahat tayo nag-aaral dito, no, Peter?
Opo.
Ang point lang dito, kung relevant, ang tawag, ang dyan, ang litmus test, no? Ang litmus test dyan, yung standard na tinatanong sa mga Senate judges, or even in regular courts, is it reasonable? Is it reasonably relevant and material to the issues at hand? And the prosecution was able to present very clearly why they need those bank records and financial statements in their brief. Di ba? Nagbigay po sila ng brief. And that was actually discussed during the pre-trial hearing nila. Unfortunately, they challenged the opposite party, meaning the defense, to enter into a stipulation on the existence of these bank records and other financial statement records. Hindi pumayag ang defense because iyan ang that is ang kanilang ginagawang depensa is a fishing expedition. But hindi natin kakaila na yung pagbibigay at pag-i-issue ng subpoena do tecum and testificandum, Peter and Rika, is part of the due process actually.
Yeah.
So meron ng presidensya ni Corona impeachment, binigay naman, no? At nakita naman natin kung bakit anong nangyari na tinago yung iba. Alam na natin, hindi na natin i-repeat kung anong nangyari yung hidden, yung mysterious envelope ni ERAP na may laman daw. But again, sana wag na maulit po ito. Now, ang isang pwedeng mangyari from my own estimate of what's happening would be pwedeng i-limit kasi pwede pong modify yung subpoena ng caucus. Sabihin nila, limitahin na lang natin ganito. And that can happen later on. So, abangan natin kung anong desisyon ng caucus.
Pero, Attorney Rico, when you talk about due process na lagi nga pong binabanggit at ini-invoke ni Attorney Michael Poa of the defense, what does it really mean kapag sinabi niyang no, we're okay with everything that you're trying to subpoena, pero let it course through a due process? Would that mean na pag halimbawa sa tax records, you can only subpoena it, but it will still require the absolute approval of the President of the Republic?
Well, napag-usapan ulit natin yan, Peter, no? Under Article 6 ng impeachment rules, pwede po namang orderan yan ng Senate judges, no? Senator judges. Pwede namang orderan nila yan as relevant, no? Ang kinakailangan lang dyan is it reasonably relevant, and that's whether the requested testimony or documents are reasonably calculated to lead to the discovery of admissible evidence. Makikita po natin may admissible evidence na ilalahad din ng prosecution. So that's the only question. So hindi na, I don't think even if they go up to the Supreme Court, that would be questioned, because the Supreme Court knows that under the Constitution, the Senate has the sole right, the executive, the exclusive right to promulgate its rules and regulations, and under Article 6, they can. They can accept that kind of application for subpoena, because if they determine that these are the ones being subpoenaed would be relevant, reasonably relevant, then dapat paunlakan nila ang prosecution para matuloy na ito.
Kasi if you go by what happened sa Justice Committee level po ng lower house, ano po, Attorney Rico, parang that BIR mahiwagang box is just too hot to handle, no? Hindi nila talaga sinabi na pwedeng buksan yan. On the contrary, pinasa dahil mainit nga, di po ba? Ipinasa sa Senado. O sabi, bahala na kayo, problema nyo na yan. No? Which brings us to the point nga na baka nga wala naman talagang legal legs to stand on ng Senado for them to subpoena and make public yung tax records. Oo.
For those who are in favor of certain positions, na alam na natin kung sino-sino yan, they will say hindi naman relevant yun.
Yeah.
And then the counterpoint niyan would be, sasabihin ng prosecution, kailangan po namin yan para mailahad namin lahat ng tax and financial records para mapakita namin na unexplained wealth na yan at hidden wealth, which is Article 2. Right?
Right.
So yun ang so bigyan natin ng prosecution ng pagkakataon, ilahad lahat yan. No, question. According to due process, ano mangyayari? May cross-examination po naman ng defense counsel, no? Meron din silang pagkakataon ilahad during their time for defense, when they present their own evidence in support of the defense. Pwede naman lang pabulaanan nila yung pinakita ng prosecution through the subpoena. So, yan ang due process. Pero yung itatago mo at hindi mo paunlakan na mapakita yung mga ebidensya ng financial records na yan, at this juncture, at this stage, ay hindi mo bibigay, hindi yan consistent with due process as well. Kasi napakatunog na yan, pinag-usapan natin yan, laging sasabihin ng mga taong may tinatago, and I am not saying that the Vice President ay tinatago yan, ang mga taong may ayaw pakita ang isang bagay, lagi sinasabi nila, ang defense nila, fishing expedition yan. Paano ang gagawin ng justice system natin? Paano natin makikita ang ang ebidensya na upright at saka men of integrity ang public officials? That is a public office and accountability mechanism, and these are all the tools that can ferret out all the matters that are part of this particular Article 2 and Article 3.
Opo.
So wala po tayong patumpik-tumpik dyan. Very, very, very clear na pwedeng i-issue ang subpoena as to what extent nasa sa Senate judges po yun, Senator judges. But the people are expecting the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And this will be shown by the bank records as well as the financial statements of, kung nag-amas ka ng 3 billion, allegedly, at ang iyong salary is 356,000 lamang a month, hindi ba kayo magtatanong yan? Maliliit na mga public officials nga, maliliit pa nga kanilang sweldo nahabla ng Anti-Corrupt Practices Act at saka plunder law. O kita mo si Senator Macroleta, plunder law, because 50,000 ang kanyang sinasabing naamas. Bakit ito 3 bilyon? Bakit natin Hindi pa
Papalampasin.
palalampasin po ba natin yan?
Oho.
3 billion.
Mhm.
Kahit siguro umikot tayo ng 1 billion na around the world, hindi tayo makakaamas ng 3 billion, di ba, Rika?
Oo nga po
Yes.
Ang dami ko pa naman dapat mabibili na sana sa 3 billion at matutulong ang mga kababayang Pilipino natin sa 3 billion.
Char.
One very quick, attorney, because maubos na po ang ating programa, oras ng programa natin. The importance of looking at the records of her husband, Attorney Manscarpio. Pwede po ba sabihin, sige, papayag ako, ipapakita ko na yung bank records ko, pero wag niyo na tingnan yung sa asawa ko.
Hindi pwede yun because under the Likot Supreme Court ruling, dapat even the husband and the relatives of the one who filed the SALN can also be included in the inquiry.
Oo.
Merong precedents po yan, may jurisprudence po yan.
Okay.
So hindi niya masasabi na asawa ko ganyan. Besides, as we earlier discussed, asawa yan they jointly
Yeah.
filed the SALN.
Okay. Pahabol sundot, PS, Attorney Rico. Bukas inaasahan na magiging bombastic ang pagiging witness ni si Director Matibag ng NBI. Ano po? Palagay ba ninyo dapat pwede bang sabihin ang presiding officer na kung dapat yung relevant lang sa impeachment ang dapat pag-usapan at hindi na dapat pumasok pa sa diskusyon yung mga 2019 Southeast Asian Games purchases and expenses or maninimbang ba si Chis Escudero at sabihin, well, if they feel threatened about this and it will affect the procedures in the impeachment trial, then go ahead.
Ang function ng presiding officer would be just to rule on the prosecution and defense objections or manifestation. Wala siyang karapatan na sasabihin na huwag mong sasabihin to. Let the prosecution through its counsel thread out all the things that they wanted to show to the witness. Then saka lang magruruling ang presiding officer. Hindi niya sa pangungunahan yan. What he can caution the parties would be, let's go direct to the point. Kaya pag nakita niya na nagmi-meander, lumalampas sa relevant testimony yan, pwedeng sabihin ng Senate officer na muna, hindi na yata relevant yung sinasabi natin. SEA Games na pinag-uusapan natin. So, objection sustained, parang ganun kung nag-object ang prosecution. So, tuloy na po yung ang testimony po ni Director Matibag. So, napakalaki ang role ng presiding officer dito.
Yeah.
If they will stop the discussion on irrelevant and immaterial matters, then pwede niya sabihin yun. At ibabalik niya sa tunay na direksyon.
Yes.
Kaya lang ginawa ng prosecution ng si Matibag as the witness for this particular case.
Ayan. So marami tayong aabangan. Mamaya po tayo po mag-uusap ulit, Attorney Rico. Maraming salamat, Hane.
Sandali lang, Peter, na streaming yung kinanta yung New York, New York.
Marami na ba? Mukhang billion hits na yata sila na.
Kaya kung kailangan mo mag-apply ng recording, may kliyente ko, Sony Music, baka kailangan nyo.
Ay, nako, attorney pang-apat ka na
Sabi
member.
ko nga sa inyo, I'm having this post-traumatic singing disorder. Thank you very much, Attorney
Thank you,
Rico.
Attorney. We'll
See you later.
Okay, see you.
Thank you. Ang ating past president ng Philippine Bar Association, chairman ng Movement Against Disinformation, Attorney Rico Domingo, who will also be joining us later at 1 p.m. sa ating special coverage ng DZMM sa impeachment ng Vice Presidente. Kabayan with Danny Banafe!
Susunod na.
Nakasama niyo po Rica Lazo.
Peter Musngi po.
Ingat.
See you later at 1.